Cheerio. Can you do a fake Southern accent, Brandon Leone?
No, because then y'all going to have footage of me sounding like Brian Kelly.
All right, so I won't talk like that either. Oh, no,
I say.
Okay, I can't do it, but Dalton can. It is TexAgs Rewind, brought to you by T-Mobile. T-Mobile, proud sponsor of this show. Visit T-Mobile.com/Across America to learn more about how you can get value and coverage with T-Mobile. Leone in the studio with us as we broke things down. Hour number 1, Olin Buchanan. He's really good at the Go Hour. This is his best hour of radio. His best hour is when he does the Go Hour. He's really good on that. Gary Blair in studio talking about their big game against Texas. We also had A&M Rugby, James Lowry, the head coach. They're getting ready for Baylor. And Billy, the boss man, in the house, breaking it all down. And you, my friend, you are ready to see this recruiting class dominate.
100%. This is the most excited I've ever been about A&M football and recruiting. And, I mean, the fact that they even have the chance to have the highest rated class of all time. I mean, if they stop recruiting today, this would be the best class A&M's ever signed. And there's so much on the horizon. So just think about that. When you're frustrated and you're in your feelings and your emotions are high, just think about what we're doing roster talent-wise from a recruiting standpoint. It's a big deal.
He made me feel better. It's TexAgs Rewind. It's on the bank on it, presented by Vera Bank, authentic relationship-based banking built for real life. Go see Joel Jackson and the team. Learn more at verabank.com.
I'm banking on a big upset in Waco tonight. I think it's tonight. I'm banking on those College Station Cougars to beat. I think they're playing number 1 Denton Ryan, but I believe in those Cougars. I've seen them win a state championship before.
You can see them do it again.
So let's do it again. Go Cougars.
Go Cougars. All right. I'm banking on this one that we won't be able to verify for about 365 days.
Okay.
Brian Kelly's not going to have a good year next year. LSU's going to struggle again. Now, they'll be bowl eligible, but they're not going to be this juggernaut back to being 10-2 or whatever, 11-1. I think they're going to struggle. And I think this recruiting class is always pretty good. It's going to struggle as well.
Well, if he turns some kids off with his personality and his accent, maybe they'll look elsewhere. Maybe they'll look to the west and come to College Station.
Take I-10. That drive wasn't too bad.
It's not too bad.
Wasn't bad.
Not bad at all.
I didn't like it.
I didn't like it.
Well, you got yourself a little situation there. Yeah, no, I look, I think he's a good coach, and by proxy and just because who LSU is, the players that they're able to recruit in state, I think they're always going to be. But there's going to be there was an adjustment for Jimbo, and I think Jimbo's done a pretty nice job. There's going to be an adjustment for Brian Kelly. I forget what his record is against top team. He doesn't do well in obviously in the playoffs. He doesn't do well. Doesn't do well in some bowl games. I think it's going to take some time when you're taking on top 15 teams that eventually become out of top 15 because they keep beating each other. Like that's just part of the SEC. It's a different animal than you venture in a couple of ACC games here and there.
Well, it'll be definitely interesting to watch. But yes, he's going to have access to better players and more of them because of the lack of recruiting restrictions. But he's also going to be challenged week to week more often than he is now playing ACC teams and Navy and USC. It's down for a while.
Yeah, Mississippi State's pretty darn good. Arkansas is pretty darn good. These are all teams that could win other conferences. Obviously, Ole Miss is really good. A&M, really good. That's just the West we're talking about.
Yeah, if you're and he's going to be in the West. If you're in the East, you can say, okay, you should never fail. What happened at Florida this year should never happen.
Never.
But because you got a lot of games that, quite frankly, you're going to be more talented. But that's not going to be the case in the West for Brian Kelly.
All right, so your final guess on radio, where and who? A&M, bowl season. Are you going to go with what the trends are saying, Gator Bowl, or you're like, Citrus Bowl it is?
I'm going to go with whatever Mark Schlabach said. Because, again, of all those guys, he's the one I respect the most.
I believe he had
I think he had the Citrus Bowl.
I think he had the Citrus Bowl.
I mean, it doesn't mean he's always going to be right. If you're a 380 hitter, you're not always going to get the hit. But, he's going to have a better average than most.
Is there any more significance because this is your final season and, because you guys are friends, or does my question even make sense?
Not so much Vic and I. We would love to play each other again, and that would be the NCAA tournament when it counted, Sweet 16, Elite 8, or Final Four. We hope that this isn't the last game. The other thing is the game is not about Vic and Gary. It's about the rivalry of Texas and A&M in every sport. And I want people to come out and enjoy it. Keep your eyes away from Vic and I. Watch those two teams on the court because it's going to be a great basketball game, and we're going to need every one of you. I'm even going to need all those Longhorn fans to get out of Austin, come down here, and be here to watch a great match.
So I got a text message during the show right now from Tom Tuberville, a good friend. He says, fun fact, Robin Roberts will always hold the record for the number of rebounds at G. Raleigh White Coliseum, men or women. He thinks it's around 18.
Wow.
So Gary was telling us, obviously, that they're playing against Texas this weekend, and you were playing against who?
Baylor.
And what's going to happen this weekend? Tell me the situation. What time? Where can we see it all?
So 1 p.m. kickoff, sharp, at Penberthy Intramural Sports, down the road there. It'll be ranked 21 and 22 in the country, and probably the top two teams in the conference. It is also a recruiting weekend. We have 22 recruits coming from all over the state, including a couple out of state, including their parents. So we really want to put on a good show and make sure that these guys wear maroon when they start their college career.
Help me understand how the recruiting works there with club rugby as opposed to what we may think about when we're talking about A&M football recruiting. Like it's kind of a different animal. You have to not explain, but there's a recruiting process, and also there's a financial commitment as well.
Absolutely. I guess it's kind of the theme of the week with all these big hires in college football, right? We wish we had some of that luxury, but it's more these guys are smart. They come from a demographic that can get into these schools. But the mitigating factor is that they're probably an athlete as well, and they want to go to a competitive program that offers them an alternative to just becoming an academic student. So if they want to go to Texas or Baylor or Tech or any other schools in Texas, or even LSU, and the competitive academic programs outside Texas, but they love rugby, and a lot of these guys grew up playing rugby for the last 5-6 years, which is wonderful. We want to be that shining program that says, look, we can get a world-class degree at A&M, which have alumni network second to none, and you can compete on a national level at rugby, at club, and that's what we kind of do.
Walter Nolan, to me, I'll say this, though. I think he's got to be on mine because they are recruiting elite on the D-line, but I think he's of a whole nother level, and I think look, they're good on the inside, but if we sit back and just assume they're going to be like, they can be better, I still think. They can still be better. And this class will push it over the top, but it's because a lot of it will have to do with him. I mean, you put a guy like him on the inside, and then all of a sudden everybody around him just looks that much better. The linebackers behind. Imagine him and Harold Perkins in the class. Like, what does that mean? Does Harold Perkins have like 290 tackles a year and 27 tackles for loss? I mean, it's just crazy what you can do. But I think Nolan he's just that. He's Myles Garrett as an interior D lineman, and he's just a complete and total game. He's Jadeveon Clowney as an inside guy, so can change everything. And I think Evan Stewart fits that mold, just like you said.
Now, this is going to be fun because I know Brandon has not watched an entire TexAgs Rewind brought to you by T-Mobile, so he doesn't know what we do on the last scene of the video. Brandon, what do we tell the people to do? Have you ever watched a YouTube video in your life?
Have I watched a YouTube video in my life?
Yeah.
Usually I only watch the Pulse on YouTube.
Okay. Well, typically on YouTube, you tell them to like.
Oh, yeah.
Comment.
Okay.
Subscribe.
Yep.
And share.
I love it. Like, comment, subscribe, and share.
Yeah, don't tell me. Tell them.
Oh, hey, Whenever you watch TexAgs Rewind, get on YouTube, like, comment, subscribe, and share. Blow it up. David Nuno is the best in the business. This whole staff is the best in the business. And if you love A&M sports and Texas A&M, how can you not do those 4 things?
Brandon Leone coming in hot like Andy Mineo.
Hey.
Like a fajita.
Like a fajita.
We'll see you guys.